Right now, the nation marks 24 years since the September 11th terror attacks. How some lawmakers in Wisconsin and the nation remembered those lives lost.
Plus, the FBI is now looking for another person of interest in the murder of conservative activist Charlie Kirk. The latest on the investigation.
And later, it is game night in Wisconsin for the Green and Gold. We're live at Lambeau Field. The Packers set to take on the Washington Commanders, and we welcome you to News 3 Now at 6. Good evening. Thanks for joining us. I'm Eric Franke.
And I'm Sarah Carlson. Today, the nation is marking 24 years since the deadly September 11th terror attacks, which killed nearly 3,000 people and forever changed the country.
On September 11, 2001, Islamic terrorists hijacked 4 commercial aircraft, crashing 2 into the World Trade Center towers in New York, 1 at the Pentagon, and then 1 in a field near Shanksville, Pennsylvania. At the World Trade Center site today, the somber tradition commemorating 9/11. These memorials have become all too familiar with one goal in mind: honor the victims of the largest terror attack on American soil. Also in Pennsylvania, near Shanksville, a wreath laid in memory of the passengers and crew killed aboard United Flight 93. And at the Pentagon, President Trump took part in a commemoration honoring the 184 people who were killed there.
We bleed, but we do not bow, and we defy the fear, endure the flames, and emerge from the crucible of every hardship stronger, prouder, and greater than ever before.
Meanwhile, there is also a focus on the hundreds of first responders who have since died from 9/11 related illnesses. Yesterday, the FDNY World Trade Center Memorial Wall added the names of another 39 members.
And in Wisconsin today, members of Governor Tony Evers' administration took time to honor the lives lost in the attacks. At Lake Kegonsa State Park in Stoughton, his staff came together to do acts of service. The governor has declared September 11th a day of state service and remembrance to honor the nearly 3,000 lives lost on 9/11.
By coming together today, we show that we can honor the past by building a brighter future. We roll up our sleeves today, whether it's to help clean, plant, or restore. We're creating an amazing outdoor recreation opportunity for our neighbors, for our families, and for generations to come. No act of service is too small, and when we work together, the impact can be extraordinary.
And a list of potential volunteer opportunities, including virtual options, can be found on the Volunteer Wisconsin website.
Even after 24 years, more than 1,000 victims remain unidentified from the attacks. But scientists are still working hard through advanced DNA testing to identify them. Back in August, 3 more victims were identified. That includes Barbara Keating. She was on one of the planes hijacked by terrorists. It's part of the ongoing effort by the New York City office of the Chief Medical Examiner.
This office made a very solemn promise to the families of the victims who were lost on September 11th, 2001, to do whatever it takes for as long as it takes to identify their loved ones and return them to their families.
Now, so far, they have identified 1,653 remains from the September 11th attacks in the World Trade Center. These latest identifications came from outreach to families for DNA reference samples and analysis using the capability of the city's DNA lab. Well, now to the murder investigation of conservative activist Charlie Kirk, shot and killed while speaking at Utah Valley University yesterday.
The FBI is offering a $100,000 reward now for information leading to the arrest of the person responsible for this murder. They're also asking for the public to help identify this person of interest. You can see what appears to be a man dressed in a hat, sunglasses, and dark shirt with what looks like the American flag on the front. Law enforcement sources tell CBS News there was just one shot and it appeared to come from the roof of a nearby building. Police say they found what they believe to be a weapon in a wooded area, a high-powered bolt-action rifle.
After the shooting, we were able to track his movements as he moved to the other side of the building, jumped off of the building, and fled off of the campus and into a neighborhood.
Kirk was 31 years old. He leaves behind a wife and 2 children. CBS News has learned his body will be flown on Air Force 2 to his hometown in Arizona. And President Trump says he will posthumously award Kirk the Presidential Medal of Freedom. Charlie Kirk's death is sparking heated debates online, and now state politicians are speaking out.
Our Tanisha Shaw has more on the local response.
Right now, both sides of the aisle are sending their thoughts and prayers to Charlie Kirk's family. Assembly members had a moment of silence to remember Kirk during Thursday's session.
Pause for a moment of silence as we remember those he left behind, his wife, his 2 young children, and the millions of people who are mourning this senseless act of political violence.
Voss remembers the conservative activist as fair, saying Kirk will let everyone speak at his events, even if their views were more so progressive.
We must, as Americans, speak with each other. The way Charlie did. The way Charlie did. And we need prayers for the country which is torn apart under attack from within, prayers for our own souls that we hold ourselves accountable for the way we treat others.
Kirk is well known for his conservative, controversial takes that often went viral on social media and made him a household name.
White privilege is a racist myth that is rooted in bigotry, trying to classify people based on their skin color. If a woman is going to have an abortion, is it 50% the man's decision?
On Thursday morning, Governor Evers sent his condolences to Kirk's family and supporters, saying all political violence must end.
I'm hoping, and I know this is kind of hoping against hope, but it would be great if we could find some way to control firearms. But that's always something that's very, very difficult. So in the meantime, we're really sad and hopeful that as a country we can come together and end these situations.
When asked if this situation would make Governor Evers want to ramp up his security, he responded that security is always a worry for him and his team. I'm going to send it back to you in studio.
Okay, thank you, Janecia. Meanwhile, today, multiple historically black colleges and universities in several states were put on lockdown due to threats there. Virginia State University in Ettrick had to abruptly close due to a campus threat. VSU did not elaborate on what kind of threat it received. However, the school said no injuries have been reported. Students that live on campus were told to remain indoors there. Also, Hampton University closed due to a potential threat, and several other HBCUs were also placed on lockdown due to potential threats.
In Rock County, a 91-year-old is in the hospital with life-threatening injuries after being hit by a vehicle in Janesville this morning. That crash reported about 7:30 this morning on West Delavan Drive. Police say a vehicle was leaving a business parking lot when it hit the 91-year-old. The victim was first taken to Mercy Hospital before being flown to UW Hospital. According to investigators, the driver of the vehicle is cooperating. No charges have been filed. The investigation is ongoing. Shifting to weather now, let's check your first warn forecast. Chief Meteorologist Alex Harrington is out on the weather patio. Alex?
And it's quite peaceful and summer-like out here, as it should be, as we near the end of summer. But boy, wait till you see the forecast that I have ahead of you. Summer-like temperatures are going to be here to stay. And also, we've got some fog that we need to track as well. Friday's going to be even sunnier than what we experienced today. Still have a couple clouds out here now, and then we'll be dodging some showers and thunderstorms. Those are the main things you got to get out of the forecast in this newscast. But I want to track the fog. Here we are, 6 o'clock on Friday morning. Areas from Madison and areas to the east along I-39 and I-94 could be a slow go. Look at that, zero visibility in Watertown or the Waukesha area, a quarter-mile visibility in the Watertown area. So locally dense fog is expected again as we go into Friday morning. Eventually it will burn off as we head later into the Friday morning hours, and then as we get into the afternoon, then the sun will break through and we're expecting a very nice day. Now, again, Lambeau Field, I just noted there were some clouds up in the area, so we got the cloudy skies. Hopefully folks brought a light jacket because temperatures are going to slip on down to about 60 by the time we end the game, and they too will have some fog as well. So if you have any friends up in Lambeau Field that are going to be commuting back home, just give them a buzz a little bit later and let them know to take it a little bit easy. Coming up in Maine weather, or coming up when I come back in a few minutes, we're going to track some of those rain chances and just how hot the temperatures, and I say hot, will be.
All right, Alex, thank you. And the Packers back in action at Lambeau tonight, taking on the Washington Commanders. Now, a programming note, the game will be airing on Amazon Prime, so you will need an account to watch it.
And meanwhile, the team is looking to take down a team that made it to the NFC Championship game last year. Let's go to Sports Director Andrew Banster live up at Lambeau. Hey, Andrew.
Hey guys, welcome into Lambeau Field, where tonight the lights are bright and the fans are wearing white. It's a winter warning here at Lambeau Field and a whiteout in the crowd as the Packers roll into week 2 of their action, hosting the Commanders to kick off week 2 of the NFL slate in a game that will be incredibly exciting. We get to see that defense once more, headlined by Micah Parsons and Jordan Love, who is absolutely dialed in right now. But didn't need to do all that much in week 1 when the Packers lit up the Lions, beating them 27-13. And now they're back in prime time in a game that nobody can wait for. A couple of minutes ago, I saw Joey Ortiz and Caleb Durbin and Bryce Durang, Sal Frelick, some of the Brewers walking around down here. They are ready. And as for another big star, Jason Wilde, our Packers senior writer, he says there's a couple things the Pack need to do to get up to a 2-0 record.
It's an important game, right? I mean, every game is 1/17 of the schedule, but these are different. Last week playing a team in your division, now you've got one win on the Lions already. Now you're playing a team that you could end up tying with in the playoff standings at the end of the season. So to have that head-to-head tiebreaker would be valuable. But to me, the biggest thing is get off to a 2-0 start at home with wins over the Lions and the Commanders. You're setting yourself up for a pretty good run to start the year and to be in a really good spot when the season ends. I think if this defense is who we think it is and who Jeff Hafley, the defensive coordinator, thinks it is, then Jordan Love won't have to be Superman, right? He can be, as Tausch likes to say, Clark Kent more often than having to be Superman. But there are going to be games this year where they're going to need him to be that guy. And that could be one of those games tonight when you're going against Jaden Daniels, who's another one of the really good young quarterbacks in this league.
As all the eyes of the nation turn right here to Lambeau Field, a couple of fun notes on this game. The Packers, the youngest team in the league. The Commanders, the oldest team in the league. Washington has not defeated Green Bay here at Lambeau since 1988. Jordan Love, Micah Parsons, and the Packers don't plan to let that change tonight. For my money, it's going to be a close one. I've got the Packers taking it 23-20, but hopefully they win by even more. We're going to get ready for this game and send it back to you guys in the studio. So for now, Andrew Banstra with News 3 Sports right here at Lambeau Field.
All right, Andrew, thank you. I like the pick. I think we'd take any margin of victory. Just get out of there and win. They're a pretty good team.
Exactly. 2-0 would be great. Well, coming up next on News 3 Now at 6, we have an update on a school shooting in Colorado.
Plus, Attorney General Josh Kaul discussing cyber safety as online threats at schools are on the increase.
You're watching News 3 Now at 6.
Officials in Colorado are sharing more information about a shooting yesterday at a high school in suburban Denver. Students at Evergreen High School scrambled when a 16-year-old started shooting with a revolver, wounding 2 peers before killing himself. Hundreds of law enforcement officers across the Denver metro area raced to the scene to help, while officials set up a reunification center for parents at another school. Law enforcement praised school staff for acting quickly to lock down those classrooms.
He would fire and reload, fire and reload, fire and reload. This went on and on. And as he did that, he tried to find new targets. And he came up against a roadblock on many of those doors. He couldn't get to those kids.
As for a motive, authorities say the student was, quote, radicalized by an extremist network. Classes at Evergreen High School were canceled today and Friday.
Attorney General Josh Kaul and law enforcement leaders in Dane County are raising awareness about digital safety as students return to school. According to the Internet Crimes Against Children Task Force, more than 11,000 tips of internet threats were received last year. And those threats can include cyberbullying, exposure to child sexual abuse material, and sextortion. And that's where the offender threatens to release compromising material of the victim unless the victim sends something in return.
What's important for parents to do is to communicate with their kids and to know that there are resources out there, resources provided by the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, resources like the SUSO tip line, because when parents get that information, it can empower them to help keep their kids safe.
And so far this year, the task force has received 400 tips relating to sextortion. The Coach for Kids campaign continues to roll on. We'll have an update on our latest numbers.
Plus, why it's going to be a busy night for the 115th Fighter Wing.
And temperatures continue to rise as we head for the weekend. Alex with his complete forecast when we come back.
You're watching News 3 Now at 6.
Welcome back. Our Coach for Kids campaign got a big boost in donations yesterday, pushing our total to 495 winter coats, but we still have a long ways to go to reach our goal. So here is how you can help. We're looking for kids' winter coats, jackets, and accessories. There is a special need for infant, toddler, and larger teen sizes, and adult sizes are always welcome. You can make donations at any Madison area Clinky Cleaners location from now until October 4th. If you're looking for other ways to help out, just head to channel3000.com/coats4kids to find links to our Amazon wish list, the financial donation page, or the volunteer sign-up page.
3 people are rescued after a small plane crashed into Lake Michigan near Milwaukee this afternoon. It happened more than 12 nautical miles offshore of Racine. The Coast Guard had to send a helicopter and boat to rescue them. The Guard says that the 3 people on board were wearing life jackets and had no reported injuries. The plane was on a flight from Milwaukee to Michigan when it went down. No word yet on what caused it to crash.
President Trump says he's approved nearly $30 million in disaster relief funds for Wisconsin following historic flooding last month. According to a post on X, Senator Ron Johnson says he had a great call with the president and also thanked Representatives Brian Stahl of Janesville and Representative Scott Fitzgerald of Juneau. FEMA crews conducted damage assessments throughout southeastern Wisconsin last month, which led to the approval in funding.
Turning to weather now for more on the rising temperatures. Let's check back in with Alex for the complete forecast.
Yes, the First Warn Weather Team, every time we are doing a forecast, and we forecast about 3 times a day, and every time we've been forecasting, we keep bringing these temperatures up and extending those 80s out further into the 10-day period. We got a warm stretch of weather ahead. We're heading towards fall, but nothing fall-like in my forecast here too. Also keeping an eye on rain chances, even though we had that historic flooding back in August. Keeping a close eye. It's been a dry stretch for much of the area since then, and we got small rain chances Friday night and then again during the day on Monday. You'll want to tune in for our 10 o'clock newscast. I'm going to give you a glimpse of what those showers and thunderstorms may look like on Friday. And once again, we need this water specifically here in Madison. Our rain gauges for the month, we're down by an inch, and that's going to continue to rise, meaning we're going to continue to get drier and drier if we don't get any raindrops anytime soon. And surprisingly, with all that historic flooding, and it has been a rainy month in the Madison area as well, we're just right on the money right now for the year. We're not significantly above normal. In fact, we're about a ½ inch below normal for water for the year right now. I mentioned an update with the drought monitor here. Still some abnormally dry conditions south of Milwaukee, the Kenosha area. They didn't get a lot of those appreciable rains that we saw in August. The rest of southern Wisconsin, no abnormally dry conditions just yet, but the longer we see the warm temperature sticking around, the longer we don't get any rainfall in southern Wisconsin, we very well could start to see that abnormally dry stretch, or I should say that abnormally dry area, start to expand across southern Wisconsin. Hopefully that won't be the case. Planning our night tonight: 51 Baraboo, 54 Madison, 55 Janesville, and 54 in Lone Rock. And patchy fog is expected tonight. We were talking about that a little bit earlier in the newscast. Here's that glimpse again, 4 to 5 o'clock in the morning, and then as we head towards 6, some localized areas getting down to a quarter, a mile, or maybe even 0 up towards Marquette and Green Lake counties. Again, this will be patchy, so I always try to exercise that caution and remind folks, just take it easy when you're dealing with patchy dense fog. You can go from perfect visibility to nothing over a very short distance, and that can be quite dangerous. That fog, though, will eventually burn right on off as we go into Friday, making for a lovely day with temperatures in the upper 70s to right around 80. Although the longer the fog holds on, some of these temperatures may be a little bit cooler if we can't get that fog to burn off quick enough. And then here's that 10-day forecast. That stretch that I said was going to be from left to right there all the way through the next 10 days, well above normal for this time of year. Lows in the 60s too, a bit on the muggy side, and more at 10 on those shower and storm chances Friday night. We'll track them together.
All right, Alex, thank you. As the Packers get ready to take on the Commanders tonight, the Wisconsin Air National Guard is also getting ready for the game tonight. The 115th Fighter Wing is scheduled to perform a low-level flyover of Lambeau Field prior to kickoff. According to the National Guard, 4 F-35s will pass over during the national anthem. This will be the 115th Fighter Wing's second flyover this week alone. They just performed one on Monday night for the Bears game against the Vikings down at Soldier Field in Chicago. We'll be right back. Finally tonight, I think we're going to need a bigger exhibit. Probably not. The new Jaws, the exhibition, looks like it offers a shark-sized bite of everything Jaws-related.
Looks pretty cool. This opened Wednesday at the Academy Museum of Motion Pictures in LA. It features more than 200 artifacts from the film, some that have never been displayed to the public before. The film is celebrating its 50th anniversary this year. Jaws was re-released, I should say, over the summer to honor this milestone, making $8.1 million last weekend at the box office.
Pretty memorable movie. I'd be interested to see what some of those artifacts are. Because
I love it.
We'd probably recognize a lot of them. Alex is back. Final check of the forecast.
Yeah, you're going to have to be prepared tomorrow morning for a little bit of patchy fog that can sneak up on you. So take it easy tomorrow morning for work and for school. And that 10-day forecast. No, this isn't a glimpse back into July and August. This is mid-September to late September weather here. Temperatures in the 80s, lows in the 60s. And tonight at 10, we'll go even further with the extended forecast. And then we'll track those showers and thunderstorms using Future Track for Friday night to let folks know who might get wet tomorrow night.
We certainly could use it.
Yes,
it's been a long stretch of dry weather.
It has. We could use some raindrops in southern Wisconsin for sure.
Thanks, Alex.
Alex, thank you. Thanks for joining us for News 3 Now at 6. Coming up next is Entertainment Tonight.
And of course, our next newscast is coming up at 10 p.m. You can always find us streaming 24/7 on Channel 3000+. Thanks for watching. We'll see you
pack.
later.